Oh, he got like
No,
no, but
but
like
he wants
he
to
won't
not be
leave
in
a
the
happy ending.
temple. Shishira Cook, I think you got it.
So like
the thing is,
basically like he gets like a small bid,
he's
and then now like other characters can take on the comic relief role that Igaguri used to have.
No one's taking that shit from him.
I'm be honest. I think this is the transition over from like the slight bit of comedy that we have to literally no comedy. It will get very serious past the point of the NEL.
I feel you.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Sai to kill off the Itoshi clan.
Mm. Hey chat, can you hear us? Type one if you can
Yeah, can
hear
you
us.
guys hear Arrow's like
Don't type
terrible
anything
grating
if you
voice?
can't. Sorry, let me watch Arrow's live stream. Did you know that this guy streams every Sunday?
Damn, no way.
Who the fuck are you?
Right, so
Do
we should probably
I?
get to the monologue now, right? Because we're gonna be here for fucking ever. Otherwise,
Nah, this is actually going to be a 24-hour stream.
this is actually a subathon now. We're gonna go for the whole
Is
month.
this is the remaining 12 hours of the BLUELOCK stream, guys.
Guys, if you order on Anime Express using my code, I promise I will be smiling. Besides my usual deadpan expression.
Can we get made Raven if that happens? Like Raven orders. Raven
My-
gets a
my-
new
You want my
custom.
avatar anime outfit? Is what you're saying.
No, I'm just made Barrow into made Raven. That should be peak. Just fan service since we're never gonna
It
see your
sounds
face.
like you want. It sounds like you want my avatar anime outfit. Do you stroke?
I don't
I
stroke.
always stroke. I stroke every night, every morning, always.
Nah, I graze. I graze. Got my.
I just lay thigh. I don't stroke. I don't beat. I don't do anything. I just look.
That's not what glaze means.
I said graze.
Can y'all hear me now?
I know what I meant. I know what I said.
All right. Can anyone
Yeah,
hear?
but we-
Can y'all hear me on stream?
Man.
I don't know if it's audible. If you know. If they can hear me. Now y'all are bugging out. Now y'all are muting.
You what? No, not at all.
All right, yeah, I'm coming through onto the stream. That's good. All right, at least it's able to be heard.
Hey chat, subscribe.
Not to Arrow. Subscribe to Raven. Subscribe to Trishula. Even subscribe to Tsukiyomi if you
I'm
feel
gonna
like
take
it.
I'm
Just
gonna
not
take
Arrow.
your channel out of the description. I'm gonna
Tsukiyomi
do
is
it right now.
completely optional because you're hearing him on.
I already
stream
got
right
3 subscribers from this. I'm fine. I'm chill.
Wow.
I
Everyone.
was about to blow up.
Okay, so Dumpling, to answer your question, why doesn't anyone else stream? Because they're not as good as I am.
Complete
because
lies.
YouTube just like
just
can't
have,
handle my amazing voice for too long. It actually like breaks down.
yeah, YouTube really struggles to comprehend my awesomeness, so therefore can't.
I actually have like a federal mandate to not be allowed to leave my home just because like every
Yeah, I've heard
woman
that.
in like a
I've
20-mile
heard that
radius passes out.
Yeah, I've heard that before. It's called having too much riz, as some may say. I cringe saying that.
Raven, are you the Skibbity Rizzler?
Fuck off.
All right, let's start this back up like we were, we had intended. So,
Yeah.
Izagi begins to monologue, and
Big
he says, "What did
fucking
I?"
whoop.
He says, "What did I do wrong?" The exhausted Kunigami was marked by Zantetsu, and Shida was trying to get free. That was the fourth element that disrupted the balance between me, Kaiser, and Rin. I realized it faster than anyone and got to the spot where Charles's pass was likely to come. And then next panel, it goes, but Rin shook off Shido, accelerated, and shot right at me. Normally you'd stop, right? We were 100% gonna collide. Doesn't he have any fear? And was that the same passion I felt when I first came to BLUELOCK? And then it says, if so,
Can I like throw out like a
no, I was just
You
gonna.
go
I'm
first, sorry.
gonna finish this off. If so, Rin's talent did it just start awakening now? So am I just a supporting character for this genius's awakening? So that's where we can pause right here, and talk.
Okay,
about it.
so I already can probably admit now that because I just realized Isagi referred to him as referred to Ren as a genius. I believe the next chapter is about Loki and Ren. That.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? So like we have that like new like. Can I talk about like the Omnivision thing yet, or should I wait
Yeah,
until
that's
like,
fine.
it actually comes
That's
up?
fine. That the Omnivision
like-
isn't a topic that comes up. If you want to talk about something, I'll be like, yo, we can say that for after because it's a separate thing. But Omnivision's fine. I don't give a fuck.
Right. So like you know how like in Manshine, right? Like to complete Metavision, he had to like unlock protagonism.
Mhm.
So I think what's gonna happen is that like he's gonna understand not just like what they want, but like also try and understand like the mindset they're in to want that thing, and that's like how he'll like go even further beyond Metavision.
I'm a little disappointed he hasn't done anything about. He hasn't really used like the protagonism aspect of Metavision since Manshine. Like even in Ubers, I don't really. I mean, you could say he did it with Bato because he just kept shutting him down, but it was kind of expected Bato was going to be the one to shoot either way. Like, who's gonna shoot?
Really,
Yeah.
I thought the whole time leading up to that, I thought that we're gonna like get a Sendo hat trick.
You just love to disagree with me, don't you? It's in your blood, bro.
Give me one.
I honestly believe that Sendo should have been the ace of Ubers, but that's
I'm
just
sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Just like
But yeah.
Hiragi should have been the star of.
I also think Chigiri's kind of shit.
Chigiri is the most boring character in existence.
Yeah, no development.
What do you think about Sai? Choose your words wisely.
They're
Chushula,
as
not
Lore-
you, Raven.
They're not as good as Lorenzo.
Come, get on the damn thing now.
But the thing with Sai is that honestly, I'm not sure I like him that much because he kind of just like exists relative to
Fuck
Rin.
you.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong though. He's not really wrong though. Like Sai. Sai's an odd character. He's cool, but at the same time, like Kaiser and Lorenzo have actively been seen having a bigger impact than Sai did, at least right now.
Like Sai's whole thing is his like position in the narrative that like he's the one that failed and BLUELOCK has to surpass him to make up for it. You know, like it's sort of like he was like the last generation, sort of, and this is the new generation that has to like get past him.
He was supposed to be the one to represent Japan, but then he abandoned Japan.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this with I think Sean yesterday that Sai doesn't even need to play for Japan because like Sai technically was supposed to be called the hero, and now that's kind of transferred to the next generation with Isagi being the ace and the hero. So I do see your point. I just when people say I don't like Sai, I just immediately think fuck you without even hearing the rest of the reason.
Characters like also Chigiri, like they're cool and I like them. I just don't think they're like the best in the series.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. I'm not gonna fuck you.
I'm not gonna fuck you.
I mean, I'm not gonna say
Maybe
fuck
I might.
you.
I might. You'll know.
I'll stick my hands up in the bit.
What do you mean
Maybe
by
I
that?
will do
What do you
it.
mean by that, Arrow?
Likes Shushula hating him, bro. He loves it. He loves Karasu. He loves
masochist.
so much of an Iron Edge.
All right. You guys ready to continue to the next section of the chapter?
Yeah, can we
Please do. We have to escape the Izanami that
Okay.
Itachi put us.
So Loki runs over and grabs Rin by the collar
Haha.
and just stares at him. I didn't even realize in this panel he doesn't even say anything. He just runs over, grabs him, and says nothing. So he just stares at him for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Loki's like characterization up to this point is like he's sort of like just kind of polite. Like Loki hasn't like had much of a character up till now, right? Like
No,
in
not really.
the second
I
third selection, his whole thing
I
was
am
just being
honestly-
like polite.
I'm honestly extremely intrigued about Loki because he clearly has his own aspirations, but he was polite up until the point where until this point, and I'm believing he's starting to acknowledge Blue Lockers more as equals now.
Yeah,
And that's
another
why he's
thing
not
is
being
like
as polite.
all of the masters have like god stuff behind them. Like Lavinia is compared to a god, and so is Noah. Not as like Noah has god given ambidextrous, and then Loki has like god speed. But like Loki seems like much more connected to the Blue Lockers than the rest of them because they're like sort of equal. The same thing happened to like Kaiser, where he was like he was sort of like this demigod figure, and then he has to move down to the position.
Yeah, I'll make this comparison. You know, much do you know about Dragon Ball?
Pretty much everything.
Okay,
y'all-
so
y'all
let's
are
say
lacking.
let's say the angels, right, are the masters, but Miras is Loki.
I think that is like a good way of putting
believe-
it because he's like sorta divine,
Yeah.
but not. He's like more in tune with the mortals than he is the other way.
Yeah, exactly. That's my like take on it. Anyway.
What I think is interesting is that you brought it up that Loki sees them as equals before in like the second or third selection, because apparently they say third selection here. I think they mean second, but because it seems like they mean second.
It is actually third selection because Ego announced the third selection before they went into the match against the World 5.
Okay. What it is I feel like what's interesting is that when Loki first meets him, he seems just kind of like he's playing like not them treating them as equals, but in terms of them, he treats them like soccer players. Like he treats them like fellow soccer players or fellow footballers. He's like, yeah, let's have a good game. You know, it's gonna be fun and stuff. But he's not really acknowledging them in a sense. He's acknowledging they play the same sport, but he's not acknowledging them on a new level. Like he's being cocky, but on the good, in a good way.
It's acknowledgement of the players rather than their individual talents.
It's the players rather than their skills.
Acknowledgement of the sport.
That he was just acknowledging the fact that they were opponents and nothing more.
Yeah. But yeah, so we can continue. Reen says
Another thing for the god thing, his name is Loki. It's a
That's
literal god.
yeah. Reen says, "What is it, you shitty master?" And Loki says, "Itoshi Reen, we played once, right? I think it was the Blue Lock third selection." And Reen swats his hand and says, "So what?" And Loki says, "You've changed so much since then. You've now become so much more of an attractive striker. You could be a different person. Thank you for awakening Charles. I wasn't planning on joining in, but this looks like fun." And he says, "I feel like joining in
by
now."
attractive.
Like,
Isn't
I
attractive
think he literally just means like in terms of like, like people are now wanting to pay more attention to him. He seems like someone who deserves the attention now. Like before, when he met them, he didn't really do anything that good.
It was that whole perspective of like eyes are now on him because of the fact that he went past an obvious scoring position to go even further to prove himself even more, and it paid off.
I don't know too much about soccer, so I'm not sure there's any comparison. But like in chess, the world champ Magnus Carlsen just like fucks around half the time, and that's why like partially he's so famous. Like he'll just
Well, that's how Loki was in the third. That's how Loki was in the World 5 match, though. Like he literally said, "You got good eyes, but you can't do shit aside from that," and just blitzed him even more. Like kicked it into second gear and blitzed him. He's like, "You were shit before, but now you're worthy of the attention." Like
it's all like raw talent surpassing like hard work. And Loki as an individual right now, I deem to be the most talented within the U20 bracket.
I mean, Rin may have like more potential as well. I'm not sure how you can.
Yeah, but
like,
potential and talent
exactly.
isn't the same thing. Like Loki definitely has like amazing talent and also potential because he's 17. He's only 1 year older than Rin, but Rin is catching up at the age of 16.
Well, it's not even. Again, remember, you can't look at it as age being the bar for potential, because people would, and that logic would say that Nico has more potential than
No, it's
Isagi, when he doesn't. It's their
no,
weapons that have
it's
the potential for growth. Like it's
no, because your bodies develop as you get older, so therefore it does go into line with potential.
does, but it's not like just because you're younger doesn't mean you have more
It
potential than someone slightly
the
older.
same. I will go back to Dragon Ball on this. Vegeta reached his match potential when he hit his adult grown body. So he then received his then current power level, which was like the highest amongst the Saiyans because he hit adult age. Loki still has room to grow. Rin still has room to grow in terms of developing into an adult. Yes, they can develop their weapons, and I'm not saying they can't. But the point is that they also have potential in terms of still growing and basically maturing as
Suki, get the fuck out of chat.
adult.
Get the fuck back here.
So Raven, what you're saying is that Rin isn't any ordinary soccer player anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Got Zenkai boost.
Suki, get the fuck out of chat.
He got punched in the nose, and nose got a Zenkai boost.
He got his Big Daddy Lord Sai got insulted. We insulted Big Daddy Lord Sai. Now he's taking a vow of silence.
Hey,
Suki, get the fuck off mute.
Fofo, come back.
Fofo.
We're gonna start talking about how much Sai sucks if you don't come back.
Don't fucking dare!
There we go.
His drip is meaty.
All right, let's continue. So, by the way, Loki subbing in. I love the shooting star aura. I think it looks fucking great. I think it's cool
Is
as
that
fuck.
what it's supposed to be?
I'm assuming. I mean, what is it? What else could it be?
Yeah, I know, but like, does anyone else have a different perspective on this?
Shooting stars are supposed to be like insanely fast. So yeah, Loki's gonna blitz the
It could
shot.
also be like embers, like Loki's getting fired up.
Sure. I mean, Ember's also tracks.
Charles is the shooting star.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like embers. Like embers, like it would look more flame like. This just kind of and like
Yeah.
more spark like. This just looks like if you.
Embers aren't flames. Let's get.
Well, I know,
straight.
but like here, if you look up embers and you compare it to this, they're not that close. But like if you turn your head slightly, you could see those like shooting across the sky. Like those look like shooting stars. And obviously, you can't really show motion here
I think
that much.
I
Like, you can't really
think
show it
those
that
are
well.
the souls of his last opponents. He actually kills them.
He goes around with his Godspeed and just starts hitting everybody in the ankles. He grabs a Razor scooter and just starts hitting people in the.
I believe he's the Reverse Flash.
You're so right.
You guys seen The Boys, right? He just like runs into people at high speed and then takes their souls
Can't
out.
stop the A train. But yeah, I think this is cool. So the announcer says, "Oh, what a turn of events! Loki, the prodigy, who hasn't played a single match of the NEL, has just declared his participation." Which is interesting, meaning he hasn't played once. Noah comes on and says, "If you go in, it'll be cheating, you idiot. In that case, I'll switch in too. I'll go in." He says, "You're out, Rensuke Kunigami, and the other one who's also about to run out of stamina, Corona Ranze, you're out too." Which bullshit. Corona's been on the pitch for like 20 minutes and he's barely sweating.
I think it came down to like at this point in the last game, Corona was out of stamina, but that also still doesn't make sense because conditioning has happened since then.
I think it's just
And
like
Corona Corona didn't play for the
thriving.
entire game. Corona came in after Isagi's goal, was it?
Yeah, so it's a matter of like maybe no one knows polite way of phrasing that was the instead was the fact that he was past his usefulness according to him.
Yeah, and he was still kind of injured.
Maybe Corona just had like a big lunch, He just wasn't feeling up to it.
Yeah, maybe he was bloated or something.
Not to mention, did Planet Hotline even work?
No.
Like Planet Hotline works in every other game until now. When they tried it, Green just stopped them in their tracks. Like instantly. Is that? Do you think that's why he's getting subbed out?
For a power scaling thing, is that Rin can actually destroy planets, He's actually like able to fight perfect.
He's a planet buster.
He can destroy taxis,
That-
trucks.
that's-
Does that mean
Yeah,
Loki?
just-
Does that mean Loki star level? If his aura is shooting stars, does that
No,
mean
no,
Loki's?
no, he's a planet buster, but that goes in track with Loki because Loki is
You ever seen like
so he's a
Gurren
star
Lagann?
buster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how like in the final fight, like they represent universes with galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing for the shooting stars. Loki is actually multiversal level.
Makes sense. I'm gonna make a whole video explaining why Isagi can solo Goku.
I actually
I'm already
I have
making
like
that
a
video.
halfway done script on why Isagi beats Sukuna unironically.
No. I'm about to cook with my thumbnail. Did I delete it? Fuck.
Oh, is this the foot cancer?
Yeah. I was the text in the thumbnail is Isagi beat foot cancer, but can he beat Goku?
I mean,
it was some bullshit like
I heard cancer is pretty strong. Let me fight it.
that.
Anyways, let's continue with the
cancer.
chapter. We'll continue with we're an hour in essentially, and we haven't even gotten through the chapter yet.
This is amazing.
Three hours.
We're talking about the real topics here.
It's fine. Yeah, and Noah says, I gotta find and coming in are myself and fucking Igaguri, it's you. And he's like, what the fuck you say? And even right, she's like, Igaguri, his ass is coming in. Hiyori says, what the hell are you doing? And Noah says, let's go, get up, you super sub. This is your last chance to change your fate. And Igaguri says, what an absolute bottom. He definitely did something with Noah in the back.
Igaguri is gonna like get the Requiem arrow. He's gonna get golden experience. That's what he means by change his fate, right? Like he's literally going to destroy the concept of fate, right?
Man, you're making me feel dumber just by association.
Hey, no. Here's the psychology behind it. You know Black Myth Wukong?
I'm done.
He's the monk. He's the monk that never loses.
I give up.
He's Wukong.
But there's no way. Why? Okay, we'll talk about it later. Why he's fucking coming onto the pitch because it doesn't make any sense. But I digress.
You know how Igaguri is like a Buddhist monk. Right?
Okay, no. Yeah. All right, I'm muting you. Get the fuck out of here.
No, he's speaking facts.
He's gonna unlock the 100-hand Bodhisattva from Hunter x Hunter.
Bro, I give up. On this shit. All right, so here we go. So the announcer says, with the score at 2-2, we're in the final moments of the final showdown. The next goal will decide the match. Who will be the new Egoist to score the final goal in this climactic showdown with both team masters on the field? Which, even Isagi is fucking confused. Like, he's sitting there, like, he's staring at him, like, what the fuck are you doing?
This is why Isagi needs to update his meta vision. The fact that he couldn't predict Igaguri coming onto the pitch means that he's washed.
Nobody could. This is bullshit.
I predicted it.
Yeah, as a joke.
Yeah, but now it's real, so I'm claiming it as a real thing.
All right, we're almost to the end. So the chapter continues with Isagi going over to Rin and trying to talk. He turns away from I don't know what the fuck is happening. All right, let me talk to my baby daddy on the other side of the field. And he says, "Hey, Isagi goes over to Rin, and Rin says, "Hey, Isagi, I'm glad I chose you as my rival. You hate me, and hate me. That's what makes me stronger. I have the duty of killing you until death." And
when do they get a room together?
I don't know. And then Isagi says, "Don't be so cocky, you dumb number one." And then the final page of the chapter is, "I'll definitely take back the winning goal." And the final tagline is, "The final showdown with his rival, I will not give up the top spot. To be continued in Genius versus Prodigy." So, realistically, be 100% real on this, on your actual thoughts. What was your rating of this chapter? Because there's a lot of stuff that happened.
I'd say like a 6 out of 10.
Out of what?
Well, let's start with Suki. We'll start with Suki, and then we'll go through each person. So, Suki, what was your ranking of the chapter? through the entire out of 10. So one being the worst, 10 being the best. Where does it lie and why?
Honestly, this was a really hype chapter, not because of what happened, but like when we were live reacting, it was so fun. And then the drawings, like we were seeing like each piece of panels because Shadow takes 5 minutes. So it was just so gorgeous. Like nearly every panel was just perfect, bro. But the one thing that made this chapter not a 10 out of 10 is the fact that Yukimiya did not come on, or Neru. Like you have Corona coming off for a non-speedster is crazy. Like at least bring one of those two on. Like I'm just surprised how Igaguri came on and none of those two came on. So 9 out of 10.
Okay. Raven?
I 9 out of 10, by the way. I believe the things in which I disagree with in this chapter aren't probably the same as other people's. I didn't want Noel Noah to come on. I didn't want that to happen because now it would seem kind of weird if Loki does score.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think the things I perceive as wrong in this chapter are probably not the same as other people's. I would actually rate this like a 6 out of 10. Ikiguri and Loki coming on. Oh, Ikiguri's funny coming on. Loki coming on is hype. Noel Noah, I don't think needed to come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna like preface my opinion by saying like for me a 10 is like literally the greatest thing to ever exist. Like it's literally perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. So the best part of this chapter for me is the first thing is like we finally get like real characterization for Loki. Which we didn't really have beforehand. He was just like vaguely polite, and then we're having like this idea that now he's getting fired up and he kind of wants to get into the world of Blue Lock almost. And then the other thing that I really liked was Isagi's monologue. He's like sort of starting to like this whole time in the NEL, he's like sort of been looking to the future, right? He's been thinking, oh, how do I get this new concept like metavision and then protagonism and then I don't really remember what happened in the Ubers match. But now
Reflexivity, I
he's sort of
think.
like looking
Right?
back. Huh?
Was it
Oh yeah,
reflexivity?
but now he's like, I think you're right. Yeah, that's reflexivity and like sort of trust, I guess. But now he's
Meditate.
like looking back on himself. It's not really the idea of like original ego, but he's like sort of like thinking of what was it like when I first came to Blue Lock, and now he's like trying to think of those sensations when he's fighting Rin.
So
Also, I
wait,
think
Raven.
that like,
No, sorry. Continue with your point. I'll ask him right after.
yeah, the thing is, I am fine with the Igaguri thing because it's like basically his chance to be written out of the story. Like he does something minor, he gets a bid, and then he like gets to live his dream of being a soccer player, and then we never see him again until the last chapter where we learn he has, I don't know, reached enlightenment or
All right.
I can see it. Raven, what was your rating of the chapter?
I said 6 out of 10.
6. Okay. So, going into this, right? There's a couple of things that stood out to me. One that I was really hyped for was seeing Loki because I had been predicting this for so long, right? I've been waiting for Loki to come on, and it made sense to me that he was gonna sub on because why bring Loki back if he wasn't gonna play, right? But there was a lot of things that confused me specifically with Ikiguri because I don't I couldn't see a way for him to come onto the pitch that made sense and wouldn't be like not just be a waste, right? Because putting Igaguri on means subbing someone off who all of the other players have useful skills. Igaguri has yet to show one useful skill aside from forcibly drawing fouls. And I've made the point that if Igaguri comes on and has to do the thing of him drawing fouls to potentially get Bastard Munchen an advantage of like because he's bullshitting. Because he's not like actually like drawing a foul. He's just bullshitting. He's forcing the other person into it. Like he's just gonna bullshit the entire time. And if he
do
does
we
that
know like what position Igaguri is in? Like if
side
he's
back
on the
for
field
Corona.
now.
He'd be side back for Corona.
So like it isn't. This is like a change in character for Noah, right? Because he's always like the hyper
No,
logical,
no.
hyper
Noah's only
rational
played.
guy, right?
Noah's. This is a very change because that's another thing I'll bring up is that like I didn't think Igaguri had a point, but the thing of that is like him coming on takes someone who has useful skills off the pitch, but at the same time, if Bastard Munchen plays him and they win the game because he had to draw fouls several times to where Shido or even Loki has to get ejected early or just ejected from the game, and they win like that, I consider that to be a scummy victory. I don't think it's deserved if they win like
That's what
that
it's
because they're not winning
so.
on their own merits. They're winning because they have to force someone off the field because they couldn't win with them on. And
That's like
I don't think it's a very I don't think it's a very full on like a deserving win.
In the grand scheme of
Well, that could be like
football,
setting
a
up
win
the
is a
character.
win.
But like the other thing is they're gonna face Loki again in the U20 World Cup. So it can be like this time we can actually beat you in a fair fight.
No, I get that, but it's a matter of him coming onto the pitch and Bastard Munchen winning the NEL. Like winning this entire huge tournament because this is against PXG, the other undefeated team, with BLUELOCK's #1 and Shido being one of the fan favorite strikers from Japan on their team, with Charles too. Like this, they're set up to be this final boss, and if you have to forcibly eject one of those players because you couldn't write a story that let Bastard Munchen win off of their own merits, it's terrible. It ruins the entire match for me because this entire match had been building up. Isagi using twin gun volley. Shido scoring his rocket header at the start of the game and sparking Charles' starting of his awakening. And then you had Kaiser's Magnus goal. Reen fully awakening his flow state. All of these huge hype moments that they've been building to. And you're gonna throw away the ending because you wanted Igaguri, your favorite character, to get screen time and survive, which made no sense because he's made no strides to develop at all until this very point, where he just now decided to start training with Kiora for something. It's a very scummy victory, and people like to bring up the fact of, oh, what about Nagi? Nagi got fouled. Okay, but Kuon for one wasn't even contributing at that point. Second, Igaguri's only weapon is to force fouls. Kuon's weapon isn't forcing fouls. He just did it because of the entire thing of like, oh yeah, fucking, I might as well, like he's not playing anyways. It didn't impact the game. He didn't.
No, Kuon didn't force a foul. He intentionally got a red card.
Yeah, but it's the thing of him. Igaguri
It's the exact opposite thing.
It's the opposite. It's the opposite.
What do you mean? Like
he got a red card.
I know.
A red card.
No, but people are saying it. But people are saying it didn't ruin the victory because Kuon came on and did all the shit. But like, the point of it is like, the game impact didn't matter because Kuon wasn't contributing anyways. At this point, all the players on the pitch are contributing, but now you're gonna put on Igaguri, who has no useful skills aside from drawing fouls, just to screw over another player. Because if he screws over Shido, that's even less Shido love. We've already been getting Shido's been written out of the story since chapter 252 when he scored his goal. Like, and now you're gonna write him out even more. Like that's just another jab at Shido by the author. And like, and Kunigami, I say I don't mind Kunigami man marking Shido. It's showing how good Kunigami's gotten to this point and his physique and what Shido outclassed him in.
I think you cut out for a second.
Did I?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the bottom line I'm making about this is the fact of, if Igaguri comes on, it's a total waste and a scummy victory for Bastard Munchen, and it just really, I don't like it. But that's what the things that really
isn't that like kind of interesting, you know? Like think
No,
about like the
it's not.
potential character growth you can get. Think about like the internal struggle Isagi might go through, knowing that he only won because of a red card.
No, I get that. I get the internal
I'm
struggle thing,
being
but
serious here.
I
Like,
know
it
I
could
get
be.
it. I get that aspect, but it's so unrewarding for the reader who at this point Isagi's been developing to the point where now he's able to compete with Rin. And now the author decides to write it off as him getting as only him only winning over a red card.
For the
It's
narrator, for like the reader to feel.
what?
Like I don't like. Isn't it kind of interesting for you to feel disappointed? Isn't that an emotion that the author?
But Isagi's lost at every point. We want to feel rewarded on this. This is the big. This was what the whole NEL's been setting up to. This big final match.
I don't think I want to be.
Is like
I don't want to feel rewarded. To be fair, I think I want to be disappointed.
That's to you, but I want to be rewarded with a awesome ending to this insane arc, and that's
like,
one thing that definitely docks this chapter for me in my mind. That's just one thing that
If we look at like Hunter x Hunter, for example, right? You kind of like when you go into it, you're sort of expecting like Kurapika to like get revenge on Crollo, right? That you're rooting for him on some level, right? But the the York-New City arc ends with Crow alive, just like walking into the sunset. Like it's in like authors do this to subvert expectations. It's like a genuine narrative tool.
I get it, but it's just that's not what I would prefer to see from this. That's where I'm talking. So I don't want to see that kind of ending. I want a big, exciting ending to an arc that's taken up over half of the manga so far and shown Isagi developing from where he was in the U20 match, where he had to play as a secondary player, like a secondary striker, to right now where he's able to compete with Rin at that top level. If they throw it all that away, you're like, oh, well, he only won because of a red card. Like it's just one of those. It's just disappointing to me, and I want a conclusion. I either want, and I think a good way to do it is to have Loki score because it keeps the rivalry between Rin and Isagi without without one of these players winning or losing for a bullshit reason, and it also sets up Loki for the next arc. Like if we're getting teased with Loki coming onto the pitch, I want to see him do something of value. I don't want to see him like just come onto the pitch and then get kicked
Can I
out
like
because
say
of a red
something
card.
on that point, and also this is like on your point, but it's also like kind of related to both you and Raven's theory that Loki can like become a new Gen 11 member.
Mhm.
So, but I think that it's like possible. Like, I'm not saying there's any reason he can't. It's just like for the next arc, right? Normally, Kaneshiro sets up like a villain for the arc, right? In the second selection, we have Rin, right? In the NEL, we have Kaiser.
Mhm.
In the U20, we have Sai, right?
Mhm.
In the U20 match, I mean. So Sai is already set up narratively as the villain for the U20 World Cup, right?
No, not
Because
really.
Blue Lock
He
used
was
to
set up
surpass
as
him.
a partial villain, one of the main big bads for the U20 match because when Sai was announced at the end of season 1 or what would be like 30 or so chapters before the match started, and we saw him at the beginning of the series, it set him up as like he's going to be coming in at some point and we're going to see him. That was what the U20 match was. It was Shido, Aiku, and Sai being as those three main kind of obstacles that Blue Lock had to overcome. In the NEL, it's
Like,
now
did
Kaiser. Like he was teased at the end of the U20 game. Like that's and then
can
Loki
you
would be the
really
more.
say that like Blue Lock had like surpassed Sai at that point?
No, obviously not, but it's the fact that you can still crown it as victory.
Whoa! I heard
What?
Sai. What's going on?
We're
I heard
saying
Sai.
that we were saying the Blue Lock. I'm saying that the Blue Lockers didn't surpass Sai. It's just in the situation they gained victory over him in that instance. And even Sai acknowledges
Well,
that
then,
Izaki is the one who can change Japan to be on his level.
Yeah.
And I get that Sai could be set up as still as a big bad, but this is how you set Loki up as another one of them because they set up multiple big opponents. Like that's the whole thing is
Sai
that
is
they're
not gonna
setting
be
up
a big
these.
bad anymore. It has to be Loki.
to
It has to be
me,
a
like
big
there's
bad
two options I
character. It
can
can't
see.
be a big
Either
bad character, bro.
all
It has
Sai
to be
or
a
Sai and
character.
Loki. If it is Sai and Loki, then Loki will become a new Gen 11 member. If Loki is not going to have as much emphasis as Sai in the U20 World Cup arc, then Loki will not become a new Gen 11 member.
No, I agree with that. I just think why bring him back if he's not gonna be another? Why bring him back? Like they could have they didn't bring back Luna and instead brought Lavenho or
Lavinia.
Lavinia, whatever the fuck you want
It's
to call
because
him.
Luna was too hot. That's why.
No, I get it, but it's a
No,
matter of like
actually,
they
the
could have brought
reason
back
why,
someone else
and I,
instead, or could have replaced him.
so
But
the reason why I think Luna is like being saved is I unironically think that Leonardo Luna will be the final boss of Blue Lock.
yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I really just want Loki to be set up as a big bad. But that's just Ikiguri being subbed on is one of those things that really docks me from this chapter. What I do really liked though, one other good thing that I like that kind of offsets that as well is I like how Isagi's reflecting on Rin. And because if you really think about it, prior to the NEL, when Rin was introduced in the second selection, he hasn't improved until this point. And even then, he hasn't really improved per se. Like he's gotten more he's got more understanding with his flow state, yes, but he hasn't really evolved like Chigiri has, like Isagi has, like Bachara has. Like they've all developed these new techniques that emphasize their weapons. Rin hasn't. He's just gotten more consistent and just overall stat wise, he's just improved. But Isagi realizing this now that this was the moment, this goal right here is what is sparking Rin's own awakening. He's gonna start to develop from this point on, and that's why Isagi reflects back to the Team Y match because that's when it happened for him. That's when he really started to develop, and now Isagi's realizing I just created my own final boss. I'm the reason that it's going to be worse off for me. And it's just one of those things I really like from this chapter.
Didn't something similar happen with Kaiser? Like Kaiser had to like reflect on himself and like his past, and then like he,
Yeah,
he learned the Magnus impact, but a lot of it was like him like understanding I have to like focus on the soccer ball. This is like something you brought up in your Predator Eye vision that I thought was like actually like I missed it the first time. That the reason why he was able to score and kind of get over himself is because he was able to like focus on soccer, which he loves.
yeah. It's very he reverted his ego back to zero. He started his own. He re-sparked his own evolution, and that's what I think in Isagi was the spark for Rin's evolution here, and I think that's really good. So, in relation to everything that happened, I don't like the chapter in total, but I would give it a 7 out of 10. I liked Loki coming on. I liked the comparison between Isagi and Rin there. I love the artwork for this chapter. It was very very good. So overall, given all of our ratings, Suki, what did you say? What did you say for your ranking? 9? 9? Raven, what did you say? You said
6.
6? Trishula, what was yours?
I was also a 7, but
7? So I say 7 too. Puts us at 29 divided by 4. The overall chapter rating was 7.25 out of 10. Do we all agree with that? Does that sound accurate for all of our thoughts?
that sounds like about right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. We got through the chapter review, and we also knocked off one of the uh things which was talking about Igaguri substitution and his role and such, which is very interesting. Um, the next topic that we would be talking about would be Isagi's strategy going forward, and that fourth piece that he mentioned back when when he was talking
Igaguri is
about.
the fourth piece.
Do you think that Igaguri was the fourth piece though? Like he doesn't seem to be. He didn't
Well,
seem to know.
no, it's not. It's not the something in which he predicts. It's something in which he's a bait.
Do you think
He
Igaguri
knows.
is
He
that fourth
knows
piece though?
like he's seeing a hole, and he knows something goes in the hole, but he doesn't know what fills the hole
Yeah.
just yet.
It's finding that. It's finding the circle. It's finding like the cylinder and being asked where to put it, and he goes, "That's right, into the square hole." you know.
All right.
Igaguri's like a cylinder into the square hole.
Yeah. All right,
So
Suki.
what's the square?
Let's start there. Let's go one by one. That way we can keep it a little more organized rather than just throwing stuff out. Suki, we'll start. We'll just start with you. We'll go down the list like it's shown in Discord for me. So Suki, we'll start with you. What do you think Izuki's strategy is going to be moving forward, as well as that fourth piece? So what do you think that's going to be, and how does it contribute to Izuki's plans of winning the game?
Um, Damn, this is tough. I really hope he doesn't involve using Igaguri, but do you think he could try not a planet hotline with Noah because Corona's gone, but like I feel like he would try to interpret Noah in his plan per se, because like who wouldn't want to use Noah, like how that Manshine game worked. So I feel like him, Noah, and Hiyori will try to cook something up. But honestly, it's really tough with Loki being here. I really don't see Isagi doing anything worth of relevance to beat Loki. But Noah's his best bet, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So you think the fourth piece is Loki, or Noah in particular?
Yeah, I honestly thought they already used the fourth piece being Charles for the equalizing goal. I didn't know that the fourth piece wasn't still unutilized. I
Because
didn't know that.
the fourth piece relates to Isagi's plan of winning the game, so it couldn't really be.
Oh, God. You got it. So it's like his final piece because it's like Isagi, Kaiser, Ren.
Yeah.
Damn, it's tough between Noah and Loki though. But I feel like he would really need Noah if he wants to win the game.
Okay.
But
So
Ness, there's Ness too, bro. There's also Ness.
there's Ness too.
Yeah, so I feel like Ness will awaken something, or like something will go on with Ness. So in my opinion, Ness will get the final pass, but Isagi is definitely going to rely on Noah to do some heavy lifting in this coming 3 minutes.
So you think Noah's the fourth piece then to Isagi's plan? Right.
It's tough.
That's good. All right.
I think Ness is going to make you off.
What's up?
Got Ness being the one to like get the final assist, but I don't know if that calls him the fourth piece or that calls Noah the fourth piece.
I think it all just
I'll
kind
get back to
of
this
comes
after
down to the
everyone
situation.
else.
Yeah. All right. Raven. What do you think Isagi's
be
fourth piece
Ness.
is, and what's his strategy moving
It's
forward? Do you
gonna
think?
be Ness. It's going to be
Think
a
it's Ness?
chemical reaction with Ness.
Really? What's leading you to that decision? Like, what's leading you to that kind of?
You know the answer, but I'll explain it to chat. There's been a slight hint of build up with Ness being kind of inspired and infatuated with Isagi's magic. Magic in quotations, because Ness refers to like football talent as magic. So he's infatuated by Isagi's magic, and it's been sort of leading up to the point of like the relationship and the treatment in which Isagi provides to other players in comparison to what Kaiser, was, treating Ness like. And Ness probably wants to feel more involved in the game, and he'll probably feel like his only way of being involved in the game, now that Kaiser's completely pushed him aside, is to align himself with Isagi. And Ness is much more of a talented player than just passing. He has the second highest or maybe third highest stat total. I don't know if he's still above Kunigame, but it's just to say like he still has talents which can be utilized besides passing, and I'm expecting him to show much more individuality in order to help out Isagi in the final moments of the match, whilst maybe Loki is very much a predominant threat. So it will take a lot more strategizing and a newly born unpredictable chemical reaction between Ness and Isagi in order to just surpass Loki. But it would also build up to the fact that Isagi needs to surpass Loki individually for the upcoming U20 World Cup.
It's okay. I was making sure.
You're right. Having a stroke.
No, someone said they can't hear you,
That
and
was
I'm
away.
listening to the live myself, and I can hear you fine. So I wanted to make sure that you were like coming through with a clear, crisp audio, and you are. All right. So you think the final piece is Ness for Isagi's evolution, and the
Yeah.
chemical reaction is his plan. Okay. All right, Trishula, what do you think? What do you think Isagi's fourth piece is, and what do you think his plan is going forward into this match
Just
in
let
the
me
last
cook
round?
here.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
think that the final piece will be Rin. So,
Okay.
Rin's whole thing is like this sort of like not suicide, but like self-harm almost, right? He is destructive towards his own team, right?
Mhm.
He doesn't literally like care about anybody else on the pitch. He actively does things that go against his team's best interests, right? So basically, Isagi can like devour Rin in a sense, and like kind of use his destroying of his own team to his advantage, and can actually manage to like predict Rin's movements and control him, then he would be able to win, right?
Hmm.
That's all I got to say. I think that's my argument.
Okay, so you think the last piece is Rain and his play style, right?
Cease anymore. But like to do that, he also has to like understand both himself and Rin's psyche. Like he
Mhm.
needs to like really like get at like the heart of the issue at why they're like it is sort of the original ego thing that everybody talks about.
All right. Hmm.
Yo, could I add something?
Yeah, go ahead. Add
So
something to
the
your
final piece is understanding childhood trauma.
So I
understanding
feel
trauma.
like Noah and Noki are both a fourth piece, but the final piece will be Ness per se. That's where I'm gonna end it off with because they're both all
so
three of these guys are very informative to the game.
I got you.
the reason why Ness like followed Kaiser in the first place is like to do the impossible, right?
Yeah,
So,
magic
which is like
stuff.
going beyond what was expected, right? So Isagi like manages to get this plan together, right? But he misses something somehow, and it seems like they're gonna win. I don't know, maybe Nanase almost manages to score or something crazy like that, and then last second Ness manages to turn things around.
Okay. That's a good one. Reflecting on your guys' opinions, I'm gonna take a different approach, and I think Isagi's final piece is gonna be Kiora. So, as much as I'm not a personal fan of Kiora, we've seen from episode Nagi what he can do with his passes. He has both accelerating and decelerating passes and shots that has at his like in his arsenal, right? So he has
You guys
those.
think like
What's up?
get like a stat boost if they played like dubstep in the middle of the game? Like it just gets like 20% faster.
That'd be interesting. But I think the final piece is Kiora. So Kiora is like Kiora's philosophy is all about borderlining. He goes with whoever he chooses to go with in that moment. That's why he passed the Kaiser, but it faked a pass to Isagi. I want to see Kiora involve himself in some way with Isagi and Hiyori because I want to see Ness's kind of ego evolve on its own rather than teaming up with Isagi and being reliant again. I want to see him build up his own ego and work with anybody, but I don't want him to do that now. I want him to return maybe in the World Cup or maybe in a later point in the series, but I don't want him to have a chemical reaction with Isagi yet. I think that Kiora would have a role to play with Isagi and his accelerating, decelerating passes, and his insane body control when it comes to ball keeping. That's my prediction. I think
Kiora's whole thing is like borderlines. Do you think he'd vote for Trump?
Oh yeah. I know. I think he'd vote. I think he'd vote. I think he might.
Like
He might vote for Kamala just because Kamala's like the new one. Like you have Trump coming back again. He might do it just because of it's the underdog.
Do you think Kiora fell down the alt-right pipe?
100%.
With your whole argument, Arrow, regarding this, I already said how he would show his individual talents through teaming up with Isagi. Maybe because he needs to be more individualistic in order to get to the ball and get the ball to him. And if they're not going to develop a chemical reaction in this match, I don't believe it'll ever happen because I don't think they'll ever be on the same team again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really sorry. I'm gonna have to like go in like 5 minutes. I kind of planned for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we should depart.
Yeah, we can save all the other things for another stream. We can call it here. We can save all this stuff for another time because we basically hit about an hour and a half in terms of time quality. I appreciate we have 56 people on this stream. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to it. We
They're
do
all here
have
from-
some. Oh yeah, you're so right, bro.
On my alt accounts.
You're so right. How could I forget about that? But we
They
have a
all
couple.
love my Smitty Riz.
We have a couple pieces. We have a couple things we can talk about next week because next week is a break week. So if we do decide to do another stream, that we can talk about more of our points there. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the stream. Just to come on and provide the community with some entertainment. Do you have any final remarks you guys want to say to the community while they're here?
Yeah.
Unsubscribe from Arrow.
Sue me.
Suki, anything?
Dislike the video.
Me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the stream. We will see you. I'll see you tomorrow for a new video, and Friday we have the BLUELOCK Jeopardy game show that you guys are not gonna want to miss. It's gonna be a very exciting event, and I hope you guys do enjoy
Who's
it.
gonna be on that?
Raven, Animage, Akira, and Sizzles. So we're gonna have 4 people on that stream. It's gonna be.
They're all frauds compared.
Get excited. As Dr. Stone
Next time on Dragon Ball.
I love how you mute before you ever finish your sentence.
Yeah, every time you mute
I'm
before
sorry.
you.
I do this early.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys on Friday for the Jeopardy stream.